Hello and welcome to Agri History. In this episode, we'll talk about the domestication of pigs. The ancestor to the domesticated pig is known as the wild boar. The wild boar has diversified into numerous regionally distinct populations. Several of these have been likely used in hybridization or have been independently domesticated. Although the modern pig breeds are direct descendants of these progenitor pigs, history of the modern breeds and their divergence from their progenitor sources goes back only 200 years. This is a short time in comparison to the approximately 10,000 years since the first appearance of domestic pigs in the archaeological record. Now let's talk about pig domestication from a historical perspective. The range of the wild boar is Europe, North Africa, and Asia. This means that, unlike other domesticated animals, whose wild ancestors were in a more regionally restricted area, such as sheep and goat, a simple model of pig domestication based on geography would be impossible. But current evidence has led to the creation of two models for the domestication of pigs. The first is that pig domestication took place in the early Neolithic era in the Near East and possibly China, and the descendants of these primordial populations became the base on which all other pigs were bred from. The second idea may be that pig domestication happened independently in the Near East, China, Europe, and Japan. With current genetic evidence, this seems to be the likely model. Based on current genetic and archaeological evidence, several origins of domestication, such as India, China, Africa, the Near East, and Europe. These locations seem to be independent domestication events or locations of constant hybridization. Let's start with the topic of the Near East pig domestication event. Based on archaeological evidence, it is most likely that the earliest pig domestication events happened here. This is due to pig demographic changes throughout the history of this timeline that we find in the archaeological record. Through this record, we have found that pigs were gradually killed at younger and younger ages for food over the course of 2,700 years. We have also seen changes in skeleton and teeth patterns, showing the transition from wild pig to domesticated pig. This process seemed quite slow, happening over approximately 2,000 years. This process seems to have concluded 500 years after that domestication event happened. Now let's go to pig domestication of Europe. Based on current historical information, in Europe, farming of pigs first occurred between 9000 BC and 501 BC. There are three models on how this happened. The first model suggests that immigrant farmers from the Near East brought pigs over to Europe via immigration. The second hypothesis is that pig domestication in Europe was likely an independent event by independent farmers in Europe. The third model is a combination of both. Models 1 and 3 are unlikely to be correct. This is due to the lack of Near East pig mitochondrial DNA in European pigs. Current archaeological evidence shows, however, that the pigs initially used were of Near Eastern descent, but were either replaced with domesticated pigs of European origin or hybridized out of existence through crossbreeding with wild boars of European origin. However this happened, it likely took 500 years to complete. To complicate this history even further studies on Italian pigs seem to indicate that Italian breeds were either bred directly from Italian wild boars or made through frequent crossbreeding with Italian wild boars. Now let's talk about China. In terms of pig breeding, China is most likely one of the centers of origin for pig domestication. The breeds of this area typically have greater levels of genetic variation compared to European pigs. Pig farms were established along the Yellow River and Inner Mongolia. This happened approximately 8000 BP. Based on current archaeological evidence, it is possible that there were multiple independent domestications in China. Now on to India. Recent testing of pigs native to India show that the domesticated pigs of India have mitochondrial DNA identical to the wild pigs of India. This suggests that outside sources of pig DNA were not used in the domestication of pigs in India, and that the wild boars of India are the direct ancestors of the pigs of India. However, due to the maternal inheritance of mitochondrial DNA, a non-native parental source of genetics remains a possibility. Now on to North Africa. In Egypt, wild pigs were last reported in the 19th century, and domestic pigs made up a portion of the ancient Neolithic Egyptian diet. The pedigree for these breeds are somewhat unknown. We have found pigs with European and Near East mitochondrial DNA. That concludes the centers of origin for pig. Now let's talk about pig breeds used in Canada. The first pig breed we'll talk about is the Duroc. This breed of pig was created by crossbreeding two distinct pig breeds. The first breed used is called a Jersey Red. The second breed used is an ancient breed of pig that's also called the Duroc. The details of the breeding process is unknown, but much of the amalgamation of the two breeds took place in the Midwestern US. Now on to the Yorkshire breed. The Yorkshire breed of pig was made through crossbreeding primordial pig breeds of England with imported Chinese breeds of pig in the 1770s. The next breed talked about will be the landrace breed. The landrace breed was developed in Denmark by crossbreeding native swine with an English breed of pig called the large white hog. Afterwards, various landrace strains have been made. The next breed we'll talk about is the Hampshire pig breed. This breed is one of the oldest American pig breeds in existence today. The origin is sort of unknown, but historical records indicate that they were bred from a pig breed called the Old English breed. Now on to the next breed. The next breed is called Lacombe. This is a complex hybrid breed made in Lacombe, Alberta, where it gets its name. The breeding process was under the direction of Dr. Stauhart and Dr. Friedin. This breed was made by crossbreeding Berkshire sows with USDA-bred landrace Chester White hybrid boars. The best progeny of this crossbreed was bred with more Berkshires. The result is the breed we see today. The last breed on our list is called a Tamworth. Tamworth is an English breed of pig that was bred for making bacon. The origin of this breed is unknown, but suggested that this breed came from Ireland, where they were known as the Irish Grazer. In 1812, Sir Robert Peel took a shine to these pigs and imported and bred these pigs and raised them in his estate in Tamworth, England. This concludes our topic of pig domestication. Stay tuned for the last episode of this season where we cover sheep.